Welcome back, wonderful people. I've got some crazy conspiracy theories that I know you're going to enjoy today. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Government conspiracy. This right here, a dinosaur. Again, a dinosaur. The American people have been bamboozled into believing that dinosaurs were a real animal. In reality, dinosaurs were created by the government to sell more museums. The official name of this program is Operation Dino, aka Disruptive Information New Money Operations. Evidence. Scientists have never found a complete fossil of dinosaurs. Everything we see today is merely an interpretation of what they think dinosaurs look like. In reality, they may have looked like this, or may not have even existed.
World War III will begin on June 26, 2025. And the scariest part is that The Simpsons already predicted it. In one of the show's most unsettling episodes, Miller is seen caught in the middle of a military conflict in a foreign country. Amid the chaos, he urgently calls Lisa to warn her that something massive is about to happen and they need to get to safety. Tensions between global powers like the United States, Russia, and Ukraine, and a world more divided than ever, this prediction suddenly feels a lot more real.
Wait, what's the Rapunzel theory again?
So the Rapunzel theory, right? So it goes that Rapunzel
Yeah.
in the Disney movie, she was quarantined and locked up in that tower for her whole life, right? Since she was a baby.
Crazy.
And then take in the name of the kingdom is the kingdom of Corona.
See, that actually blew my mind. That actually blew my. Shout out to that person who told us that, but like that shit blew my mind.
I know, because it lined up. It lined up like Corona. What
we're in now.
Yeah, where did you get that from?
Coronavirus.
Exactly. Corona quarantine, like in the tower by herself in isolation. That shit adds up, bro.
Disney the Illuminati
fam. That shit adds up, bro.
Disney the Illuminati fam. And she was in there for 18 years, bro. Just sweeping, doing chores.
Yeah.
That's what's happening now, bro.
Facts.
This is the biggest conspiracy in all history. This is the phantom time hypothesis that states we are actually in the year 1722. The idea says three men, Otto III, Sylvester II and Constantine VII, all agreed to alter time and fabricate the years 614 to 911 AD so that they would live in the year 1000. The main evidence for this comes from the idea that there were discrepancies between the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar, which equated to the conclusion that 3 centuries had never actually existed. And due to a lack of historical evidence, those 3 centuries were pinned to the Carolingian period.
How many other types of human species are out there?
We talking inside or outside of the ice wall?
I thought we were the only ones on the inside.
Oh man, I mean, look, you got the Antarctic hominids for starters.
Antarctic hominids?
Really just, an ancient civilization who'd been there since, 400 and some odd thousand years ago, right? When the place was hotter than the Sahara. And look, despite the drastic changes in climate as time went on, they just never left.
How do they sustain the freezing temperature?
Evolution, brother, happened over the course of centuries, right? Their bodies are just flushed with white fur. They're incredibly strong, really kind of intimidatingly featured, if I'm being quite honest. But what was more interesting than that was the 1,500 or so mile divot they dug out of the ground. They surely developed quite an intelligence, right? They obviously seeked a warmer environment, and so underground they went. Look, they created these full-blown societies in the depths of the ground, right? Markets, housing facilities, okay? We're really more similar than we are different, right? This is part of the reason why we're not allowed to go over there. They're protecting this ancient civilization. Gonna go ahead and say this is a joke for entertainment only.
Okay, let's do it. Yes, y'all, my blinds are closed. Today we are going to talk about the movie The Incredibles and how it connects to today's society. Now, as we know, The Incredibles is about a superhuman family that tries to save the world. In the beginning, it was just 2 of them. They were using their powers, helping people, saving the world, until the government and the news media started to hate them. They were supposedly taking away the jobs of police and firefighters and all that, until they made it illegal to be a superhero. He hated his life. He tried to be domestic. He tried to have a job. He got married. He had kids and all of that. He tried to live the regular life as a human. But it just wasn't it. He knew he could be more. Now, why do I say this? We all are living just like Bob. We have so much greatness that we can create, but we want to sit at a desk. Don't believe me? So it is said over 90% of our DNA is junk. Because it's not activated, we don't use it. It's just sitting in our bodies just doing nothing, huh? What if the food that we eat and the air that we breathe is constantly blocking us from those powers? So we can't be like the Incredibles. Y'all have to understand that there are things put in place to keep you at the specific level in your life that you are right now. You are so much more than trying to memorize the front register. Do more and be more. It shouldn't just be school, work, family, die. They need things to keep running the way it is. They want us to be just like Bob when he was working and he was over it and he had them powers and he didn't get to use them. Because it messes up what they want and they have. It works out for them if we're just docile and we don't pay attention to things. Everything will be okay if you just do everything their way. Don't do anything extraordinary, just be normal and don't do nothing but work. And then groom your kids, take them to school and make them work just like you. Don't be like this. Don't use your powers. Be in the system. But y'all be safe.
This particular object was not following any of our rules. It didn't have a turn radius that we would expect. It didn't have a period to accelerate and decelerate. It just seemed to zip so quickly that it was, again, really disorienting, really confusing for us.
David said it was the WTF moment.
Yeah. Oh, there were definitely some WTFs on the radio. Not in a scared way, but like, what the is that? Like, we're seeing something for the first time.
You know, some people go, what is that? And they run. And then some people see it, what is that? And they're curious. They want to get closer and closer. I wanted to get closer, see what it was.
Yo, did you know a fisherman just heard the devil speaking out in the North Sea?
Oh, I didn't know.
So check this out, bro. So out on the cold waves of the North Sea, famous for its extreme weather conditions and storms, a fisherman named Todd Darcy set out in his creaky boat, hoping for a good catch. The night was pitch black and the air had a bone-chilling cold. As Todd threw his nets into the water, a weird sound crawled into his ears, a low, raspy voice like it came from the deep sea. He strained his ears, thinking it was just the wind playing tricks. But no, the voice spoke words that sent shivers down his spine. Todd, it murmured, I see your dreams. I can make them real. Todd's heart raced. The voice claimed to be the devil, promising power and riches beyond imagination. Fear gripped him, but temptation tugged at his thoughts. Was he dreaming? He slapped himself to wake himself up, but accidentally fell in amongst the harsh, crashing waves. That's when he saw his biggest nightmare. It was the devil himself. Todd happened to have his GoPro recording the whole thing and is allowing us to share the footage, so comment your date of birth and we will send it via DM.
And I had a birth certificate, but there was a flood and it washed away. I don't exist in the eyes of the government. Jeez. Trying to get to this other tree. I think I'm gonna ride this one down.
So hitchhiking is still alive for you?
Definitely.
Not a problem.
At one time I was going to Tennessee, and a state trooper stopped, and he asked me questions, and I told him where I'm going and everything. And he's like, so, do you have any dangerous or concealed weapons on you? And I was like, I have a pocket knife, does that count? He's like, no, that doesn't count. He's like, get in. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh no, like, where are we going? Like, he didn't tell me what's happening, you know, so I'm riding along. And then he got on his radio and I was like, what's going on? And so then he's like, well, I patrol about a 10-mile range here. He said, I'm taking you as far as my range is, but I radioed ahead to tell my buddies that if they see you walking or whatever, pick you up and give you a ride. And I was like, oh, thank you, Mr. Officer. So then he drops me off at this exit, and I was standing on the ramp, you know, praying for a ride. And then this city police shows up, and he's like, are you hitchhiking? He said, hitchhiking is illegal in the state of Kentucky. And I thought, oh no, if I say no, then that's kind of like a lie. If I say no, I'm not hitchhiking. But if I say yes, then I'm incriminating myself. So like the Holy Spirit gave me like an answer, right, that I needed. I said, well, officer, I am prepared to walk and I'm prepared to ride. So he asked me the same question twice and I give him the same answer. And he looked me up and down and he's like, well, I could take you in. He said, but you look like you're okay. You have to stay on the state highways. So I was like, okay. But I didn't know my way. I was like, please, Father in heaven, give me a ride soon. And so that I got a ride real quick and I was gone out of there.
Do you hitchhike with bare feet?
In the summertime, yes. but not in the wintertime. It's not healthy to go barefoot in the wintertime.
No driver's license, no identification. What about social security card?
I don't have one. No, my parents did establish a social security number for me, and the card said not valid unless signed. So I never signed it. And then I studied the issue, and I decided to revoke my social security number.
So in a way, you don't exist.
Yeah. And I had a birth certificate, but there was a flood and it washed away. So I don't have that either. I don't exist in the eyes of the government, but I do exist in the lives of people that know me and my Father in heaven.
I have no clue what happened to Titus. He took off.
Hey TikTok, thought you guys might find this really interesting. This is an 800-year-old artifact found near Babylonia, Sumeria, of a cell phone. It looks like a Nokia phone, as pictured here, from 2001. Some people say Nokia is unbreakable, which is kind of funny. Imagine these cell phones, the technology and the design actually came from thousands of years ago. The symbols that are on the buttons are recognized as an ancient language. This ancient language is known as cuneiform, which is Sumerian, Babylonian, and although it's not known what's written on the phone, many people know that all of our technology, knowledge, math, sciences, and writing came from Sumeria, and they claim that the Anunnaki, people who come from the stars, brought this information down. What do you guys think? Take care.
This man photographed a UFO, and by mistake, he traveled 50 years into the future. In 2006, a man named Sergio Ponomarenko was wandering lost in Kiev, Ukraine. He was wearing a strange dress and had a vintage camera in his hand. Two policemen asked him to identify himself, and he showed them legitimate documents from the Soviet Union era. These documents were over 50 years old. The cops thought he was insane and arrested him, taking him to a psychiatric clinic. A female doctor investigated him, and he told her, "My name is Sergio Ponomarenko. I was born in Kiev on June 16, 1932. The doctor replied, "You're not older than 30 years. Sergio insisted he was 25. The doctor asked Sergio how he appeared in 2006. He explained that he was trying to take a picture of a floating bell-like object and somehow got teleported to this place. The doctor was skeptical, but Sergio claimed he had proof, which was the photos in his camera. The problem was that the camera used outdated technology. Eventually, an expert developed the photos, revealing images of Kiev in the 1950s, including a picture of a UFO. The investigation confirmed that Sergio Ponomarenko was a real person who lived in Kiev during the Soviet era and was declared missing. After the photos were examined, Sergio disappeared from the clinic. The security cameras captured him entering his room, but he was never seen leaving. The windows had bars, and the door was always watched by cameras. It was impossible to escape.
A man just discovered the Leviathan under a museum in New York City. The Leviathan, known to be the world's most powerful and dangerous monster to roam the oceans, has just been found. Night guard Larry Daly was just 4 hours into his night shift at the National History Museum. He thought he would go explore the museum and get to know his way around to pass the time. What he didn't understand was that something sinister was lurking in the basement. He explored the deeper part of the museum, lurking past some of the ancient exhibits which terrified him. Suddenly, he came to a large door which read, "Do not enter, NASA employees only." His curiosity got ahead of him. He ripped down the tape and entered the room. The room was like a freezer. His spine tingled. He knew he shouldn't be here. He looked up at the enormous glass exhibit in front of him, and there it was. He immediately whipped out his phone to take a picture. To see the picture, comment "I believe Larry" to have it delivered to your messages. The Leviathan, known to be the world's most powerful and dangerous monster to roam the oceans, has just been found.
So this is pretty recent news, but Antarctica is claiming that they saw an alien. I'm not joking either. I mean, a few years ago, NASA did try to prove that aliens do live on Mars because of some footage that was taken. Is it possible that one has landed in Antarctica, or is it all just a hoax? What do you guys think?
Have you ever heard the superstition about a welcome mat outside of your door? No? he shouldn't have one. Reason is because,
let me guess, it's gonna fucking invite entities into
you're basically inviting anything to come inside your house, meaning you're inviting demons, evil spirits.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, bro, because you're inviting it in.
All right, so do you think that rubs off and like it brings evil people try to break in, rob?
Maybe you could just bring all the bad energy, but again, that's just a superstition, bro, that people believe. Oh, it's bad to have a welcome mat. Some people are just like, it's just a mat, bro. It's not that serious.
You already know the comments gonna be like, bro, I can't have anything no more. I have one right now.
That ass, bro. I know a lot of people out there have a welcome mat, bro. So just be aware if some weird shit starts happening in your house, bro, some ghost activity, maybe it's because of your welcome mat.
Aliens have created these technologies, including these gigantic tankers. We're talking 2.5 mile long ships hovering in low Earth orbit, cloaked so you can't see them.
What's in them?
Mind control technology that is preventing us from having this spiritual shift. Our government, they now have the ability to shoot those tankers down. The problem they're having, George, is that it's not like a fader dial where you can kind of fade out the mind control. It's either on or it's off. So they haven't shot the tankers down yet, because when they do, you start to create whatever you think, manifesting your own reality in real time. And if you go into a panic, if you go into paranoia, you're going to actually see things, and the more that you fear them, the more they're going to appear. Our government knows that this is going to happen if they take these tankers down, and they're very, very concerned about it.
Do you ever wonder why like there's a naughty and nice list for Santa Claus?
To make kids like
nicer,
behave,
right? I'm pretty sure like Northern Asia and I think some areas near like Siberia and all of that, they have tradition. Instead of Santa Claus, Sinterklaas.
Yeah.
He's with Krampus. And Krampus is supposed to be like a winter demon, and sending Krampus to go ahead and like beat them up. Like he would go around. Literally looks like Santa Claus. Has like a priest hat, dressed in red, long white beard, walks up to the kids and goes, naughty or nice? And then sends Krampus if they're naughty and like beat them up.
Damn.
Now, that whole thing of like Santa Claus, Sinterklaas, it gets dark because in, I think like the 1600s, there's actually a play, but this is where it gets crazy. This is what ties into Santa Claus. His signature laugh is
ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
So ho, ho, that's where they got Santa Claus's laugh from.
Oh,
and that's where they got the naughty and nice list from. It's
so
all
it is. Oh, it's all demonic.
You know what else is demonic? Like guaranteed?
What?
I'm about to blow the lid off this shit.
What?
Yo, if you guys want part 2, comment conspiracy syrup right now.
What if I told you Donald Duck isn't just angry, he's traumatized? There's a theory that Donald is actually a war veteran suffering from PTSD. His short temper, the yelling, the nightmares, all signs of a mind haunted by war. He wears a sailor's outfit, not by chance, but because he was a sailor. Fought in a war we're not supposed to talk about. But here's the creepy part. Disney never mentions his past. Why? What are they hiding? Maybe Donald isn't just a cartoon duck. Maybe he's a broken soldier, stuck in an endless loop of pain and memory. Is he fiction or a forgotten truth? Let us know your thoughts in the comment.
Listen close, follow my instructions. There is no time for introductions. He was the one that made us. You'll be the one to save us. Underground, welcome to the circus. Power down, are you feeling nervous? His voice means to deceive you. My voice just wants to leave you. Ice cream. This machine will help with the brain freeze. The stage lights up with controlled shots.
You've probably heard about these satellites from the National Reconnaissance Office that are constantly recording the surface of the Earth where everybody is, and have enough resolution that they could actually read the fine print on your driver's license if you were just holding it in your hand.
Good grief, that was in the 1960s, sir. You know what we can do now? We can see what's inside the walls. We can see what kind of termite is eating inside your wall. And that's public information. So yeah, these things have been around for a while. And you know, you can go pretty much anywhere on the planet in 40 minutes with these satellites and get HD 4K pictures of anyone, regardless if there's cloud coverage.
These are 3 California creatures you never heard about. Up first is the Dark Watchers, and they're usually sighted in the mountains of California, and are described as tall, featureless, dark silhouettes, often wearing brimmed hats and having walking sticks. If you ever see a Dark Watcher, whatever you do, never approach it, because if you do, you will completely vanish forever. Next is Tahoe Tessie, who is a water creature and is living in Lake Tahoe. It's been described as having smooth skin, and is apparently so big it's the size of a bus. So next time you go to Lake Tahoe, you better look around for Tahoe Tessie. Finally is the Lone Pine Devil. This is also a creature who is often sighted in the mountains of California, and it's described as a large creature with both bird and reptile qualities. They have razor-sharp claws and venomous fangs. So what creature do you think the creepiest is? In my opinion, it has to be the Dark Watchers just because of how creepy and weird they sound. But either way, let me know which one is the scariest to you.